this is the GepRC Toothpick Phantom, they're calling it. And I've been talking to GepRC for a while now. They told me that they were going to be making these kinds of quads, and I was like, great. It's a great performing quad. So this one is the version that has the 16x16 stack in there. Now this stack looks pretty much identical to the iFlight stack. However, it says GepRC on the board, and I don't know if I honestly don't know who is making this stuff. I really think Airbot makes all this stuff, but I don't know. And they have a version that's available for sale, and that's the one that's linked in my description below. And that one has the all-in-one board, not the 16x16 stack. I have come to prefer the 16x16 stack lately because it typically comes with a 200 milliwatt VTX built in, and it allows you to use a Nano camera on board, whichever Nano camera you want. So it doesn't require you to use any kind of VTX of any other sort, and it's just a cleaner setup overall. It just so happened that at the time there weren't any good ones, and so the Toothpick was designed with the all-in-one. And for the actual traditional Toothpick with the all-in-one board, I still prefer the all-in-one board with the all-in-one VTX camera. Now I am designing things like this, but not like this, so that'll come in the future. But this thing is using 1103 8000 kV motors. It's a 2S quad, and well, you could run 3S if you want, but it's a 2S quad, and it wants you to put the battery on top, which is fantastic. The performance of control and everything is a lot better with the battery on top. However, it does kind of overall feel a little more dull because the overall weight distribution is more spread out. It's not as tight and packed in the center as a typical Toothpick quad. And that's why I kept the quad as simple and easy and tightly packed as it was, and I put the battery sideways underneath because it has a much more dense overall weight distribution, which I can feel in the air, and it feels a lot better to me. But the battery on top is better. I just think that this quad needs a little bit more power and a little bit larger prop size in order to actually get the performance that we all want in these quads. And that is the main issue with this quad, is that the all-up weight with a 450 milliamp 2S battery is 82, 83, 84-ish grams, and as I've done a lot of testing in this department, 73 grams is the cutoff to me for this 65 millimeter prop. Once you get past 65 millimeters, you can add a little bit more weight, but with this prop size, this twin blade, which is still the blade that I prefer. Yes, I have tried the Avan Rush, whatever, the little 2.5 inch Avan tri-blade. It's really quick, it's really good. However, it does feel a whole lot more dull because the motors do not have a lot of power, and once you get past the initial pop of power, you really don't have any more power or any control input performance like this prop, because the prop is just heavier and it's harder to spin and it's more draggy and all that stuff that I talked about in the previous video. So this quad is cool, flies great. Aside from the slightly more weight, my other concern is that it is a 2 millimeter main plate, and it's just one plate. So if you break an arm, which is more likely when you have more weight on there, then you're SOL. You need to get a new bottom plate. And as you can see, they actually designed this frame to accept the all-in-one board as well as the 16x16 stack. I don't think it's as optimized as it could be, the frame, but hey, it comes with a full-blown VTX in there. It's got a 200 milliwatt, a full-blown receiver in there. It's got a 200 milliwatt VTX. It's got a EOS camera, Caddx EOS camera up front, which on this setup, as long as it's not crazy vibrations, performs quite well. And it performs great for what it is. So if you want this style of a quad, this is a great option. I didn't have input on it, and like I said, there are still some gripes that I have with it, and I do have things coming in this class in 3-inch. I would recommend waiting for them because they look really awesome. But yeah, if you're looking for this style of a quad now, I think this is a really good option. It performs great, it's using good parts. I don't necessarily like the Caddx camera, but it's okay. The EOS hasn't had problems other than the weird jello, and the receiver works great. I mean, it performs really well. I wish it was slightly lighter, but hey, this performs really great. It'll also run great on a 3S 300 milliamp battery as well. It gives you a whole lot more performance, but you probably want to do a little bit of throttle cut. Other thing I forgot to point out is that the battery lead coming off the side here is a little bit weird because you can't get the battery to the lead to bend properly to, you know, get in there. Like, it's like awkward. So it's hard to really get the battery on top comfortably without having the props hit it. But the good news is that these motors have no power. 1103 motors have no power, so you'll never really slice a wire because there isn't enough power to slice and break anything. That's it. Lots more to come. Floss your teeth. That's always good. Take care. Bye.